Hello friends, it's me, Shin, and today I'm coming to you from the Cosmopolitan where I'm checking out the Wicked Spoon for lunch. So happy to have you along, let's head inside. Alright everyone, here we are seated at the Wicked Spoon Buffet for lunch. Now the brunch service is available from I believe 8 o'clock to 3 p.m. and on the weekdays that extends out to 4 p.m. Unfortunately no dinner service here at the Wicked Spoon, but it is a beautiful dining room with plenty of eating space and a lot of options. And it's been a very long time since I've been here to the Wicked Spoon to eat. Let's take a look at what they have on the line. Alright everyone, let me take you through a quick tour of the buffet here, starting off with this fresher section. We have your charcuterie, looks like some capicola over here, some Gouda cheese back there, grapes and salami. Yeah, very nice. Here is your shrimp cocktail. And then we have some fruits, looks like some watermelon, honeydew, cantaloupe, and pineapples here. And we have an Italian pesto pasta salad. Some additional fresh fruits. We've got kiwis, oranges, apples, and bananas down here. And some croissants, as well as a banana bread, and some assorted bread rolls here. Here we have some soups. Looks like this is a chicken tortilla. And this one is a tomato basil. Very nice. And looks like some peanut butter and Nutella and some apricot jam here for your toast. And a toaster. Wrapping you all around. Looks like we have some smoked salmon, capers, and tomatoes here. All the things you need to make a good lox bagel. You've got cucumbers, cream cheese, raw onions, and lemons here. And looks like this is a banh mi salad. Here we have a tuna crudo, an apple farro salad, and a beef carpaccio. We have some corn tortilla chips here, as well as, some guacamole here. This is a wedge salad, and that is next to a Caesar salad. Oh, they actually have real anchovies in there. That's nice. And then it looks like this is called the Wicked Winter Salad. All right, let's go ahead and wrap our way around here. We're gonna head over to this section, and then we'll make our way down. All right, looks we have a chickpea marsala here, and that is next to some naan bread. This is beef and lamb gyros, a kale salad, black bean hummus. These are vegetable samosas. Pork carnitas tacos over here. Very nice. And then moving on over, we have a crepe station. Looks like you've got your choice of a strawberry compote or bananas Foster. And then an omelet station as well. What do we have here? We've got bacon, cheese, ham. Looks like shrimp and garlic. Cheese, spinach, onions, peppers, tomatoes, and mushrooms. No, just eating with my eyes today. Thank you. And then let's wrap you all around. We have some cream spinach here, as well as some angry mac and cheese. We have some bone marrow. And if we wrap our way around here, we have a mashed potato bar. Looks like you got mashed potatoes and bacon bits, as well as a brown gravy. And some, what is this? Some crispy onion straws. Looks like cheese, green onion, and some jalapenos. As well as a barbecue sauce, sweet and sour, horseradish, and a barbecue sauce. Very nice. That brings us to the carvery. Here is a barbecue chicken next to an al pastor pork shoulder. This is Italian rope sausage and longanisa sausage as well. You've got some tri-tip over there. And that's next to a strip loin. And then a roasted lamb leg with garlic and herbs. Got some sauces here. Oh, it looks like there's a couple of pieces of ham back there as well that I didn't see. Oh yeah, there's some ham back there. And then a couple of sauces here. These are not labeled, but it looks like some... Oh, these are labeled. Let's see here. We got a wicked hot sauce, a Korean barbecue sauce, a chimichurri and ranch dressing. And we have your fried chicken here. Good looking fried chicken. And that brings us to some bacon, as well as some roasted summer squash and some roasted potatoes with herbs. You also have a little bit of a maple syrup station over here. Looks like nothing here, but that maple syrup is for some pancakes and French toast. We have some shrimp and grits over here. Not bad. And coming around, that brings us to the pizza section. Looks like there's a vegetable pizza, a cheese pizza here, as well as a meat lover's pizza here. Looks like a white pasta here with pork sausage and leeks. And that is next to what's called an Asian barbecue salmon. Actually, that looks really great. Okie doke, let's keep it going here. You've got your crab legs, one of the big draws here at the Wicked Spoon Buffet. You've got your fortune cookie, some kimchi and lemons over here. Next to just trays upon trays of clarified butter. Here we have, oh, go ahead. Here we have some kung pao tofu. Next to what's called some lapchang Singapore noodles. We have Thai green curry mussels here. And that's next to all of your assorted sushi. Looks like this is a vegetable roll. Looks like that's supposed to be a very lonely single crab roll back there. Spicy tuna roll with eel sauce. And some additional vegetable rolls here along with your ginger. A little bit of your wasabi here as well. And then that brings you to a hot pot and ramen bar. You have all of these various toppings that you can throw into your soups. Let me wrap you around. And the two soup bases that you have are a Thai curry, as well as a shoyu broth for ramen. And you've got noodles, bell peppers, green onions. Looks like some tofu and jalapenos, as well as some pork back there. Very nice. And then we've got some chashu pork belly here, next to some vegetable fried rice, some gailan, your roasted bok choy here, as well as your salt and pepper shrimp. Looks like they have little to-go boxes of white rice and some additional fortune cookies here. And this is the last little bit of the food stations. We've got your leek dumplings, your dim sum items here, vegetable spring rolls. Last but certainly not least, you've got some chashu pork buns. Now that's all of the food. Next to the Asian station is this dessert area. So let me show you the final portion of the buffet. Here we have some pina colada panna cotta. Double chocolate chip muffins here. Gluten-free chocolate chip cookies. We've got cheesecake. Next to some tiramisu. This is a guava cake. And this is a cherry pistachio mousse cake. Looks like we're coming up on an assortment of donuts. You've got your powdered sugar on the right, strawberry frosting on the left. Looks like these are apple turnovers here. Or actually, this is a strawberry lattice here, and this is the apple turnover here. And then we have a chocolate croissant here. A chocolate passion fruit pâte de crème. Vanilla rum raisin rice pudding. That's really nice looking. And you have the classic creme brulee here as well. If I wrap you all around, these are the toppings for the ice cream. You have mushrooms, Oreos, M&Ms, and Reese's Pieces. And then all of these gelato and ice cream flavors. Let me wrap you all around. A lot of great looking flavors there. You've got your warm molten lava cake here. Very nice. We've got coconut macarons here. Your spumoni cones. Looks like a carrot cake here. And a salted caramel ganache. All of these desserts we've already kind of seen, but they just keep these refrigerated, I suppose. And then the last little section here, you guys, we've got the blueberry muffins, Fruity Pebbles Rice Krispie Treats, an egg tart, and last but certainly not least, an assortment of cookies. And that is the whole buffet, y'all. I'm going to go and put this down and we'll get our first plate. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. And welcome back, everyone. I just got my first plate, and this is looking great. Let me give you a view. I got some of their crab legs along with some clarified butter, their chashu pork, some Chinese bok choy, their Asian glazed salmon, their curry mussels, and some vegetable fried rice. It is all looking really good. Let's give it a try. First up, I'm going to try the salmon. This actually looks really good. Let's see how it is. You know, that's pretty good. I'm genuinely impressed with the texture of this particular salmon dish. Especially coming from a buffet, it has a very crispy skin and a very moist interior. Good flaky flesh. It's actually a very well-cooked salmon. There's a bit of a sweet smoky glaze here that's providing a nice flavor, although it's actually not too overpowering. And there's actually an Asian slaw on top that has an appropriate amount of vinegar, providing a little bit of tang. I actually like this one. This is a good salmon dish. Alrighty, next up, the fried rice. I believe this was a vegetable fried rice, no proteins in here. Let's see how it is. You know, I've got some mixed feelings on that one. The rice here is actually fine. It has a nice, firm, chewy texture here. Though I will say it's a tad wet, but in general, texture-wise, it's not bad. I think the general flavors of the fried rice are okay. You definitely get hints of five spice in there, a little bit of garlic, and some of the umami from the soy as well. My biggest issue was that there was a huge chunk of pineapple in the bite that I had, and even though I generally love a good citrusy sweetness, it didn't play too well with the rest of the flavors of this fried rice. It was just a little bit awkward for me. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that one. Next up, these are the mussels. I believe these are served in some kind of a curry sauce, and it looks really good. Let's give it a shot. Oh, that's very good. A good spongy texture to that muscle, not too chewy. It was actually very well cooked. I absolutely love this curry sauce flavor. It has a lot of depth, very aromatic. There's a lot of garlic. It's also very creamy. Now, I do wish there was a little bit more heat to this, just a little bit of additional spice, and this would have been fantastic. But otherwise, good nonetheless. All right, next up, the bok choy. I'm a huge fan when it comes to Chinese bok choy like this. Looks like it was cooked along with some big chunks of garlic. Let's see how this is. Unfortunately, I say that's just okay. While you definitely get that trademark bitter flavors coming from the bok choy here, unfortunately there's not enough of that garlic flavor to help balance it out, which is very odd considering there's huge cloves in here. The flavors aside, unfortunately, my biggest issue is actually with the texture of the bok choy. It's a tad under. It's definitely not as soft as it should be. It makes for a little bit of a harder bite, and it's not all that satisfying. Not my favorite dish of the day, unfortunately. Alrighty, next up is the chashu pork. It's actually a very nice color to this. Topped with what looks like some toasted sesame seeds. Let's see how it is. That's pretty good. A very fatty pork meat here. It makes for a very rich bite. There is also a nice tangy sweetness coming from the Chinese barbecue sauce here. And one of the things I love about chashu pork is just how well that barbecue sauce gets caramelized, providing an additional smoky, nutty flavor. Speaking of nuttiness though, I do think that the amount of sesame seeds here is a little excessive, because in the middle of the bite, you actually don't taste too much else. Once you do get past the sesame seeds though, you eventually end the overall flavors with the sweetness again. Maybe just slightly few sesame seeds, and I think I would really enjoy this chashu pork. Alright everyone, now the last bite I'm trying from this first plate is going to be some of the crabs. I do love the fact that snow crab legs are served alongside here. Unfortunately, this isn't my cleanest extraction though, but I will dip it into some butter here. Let's see how it is. Not bad. Now I think the particular quality of this crab is just okay. The crab meat is a tad stringy, it's very hard to extract, and while it does have a bit of that trademark sweetness, unfortunately the flavors aren't all that robust. The clarified butter certainly provides a nice richness overall, but in general I wouldn't say these are the best crab legs I've ever had. I think they're just alright. Alright my friends, now it's plate number 1. I'm going to continue working on this and then we'll go for plate number 2. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. And welcome back everyone. I just got my second plate and this is looking really good. Let me give you a view. I decided to hit the carvery with this one and I got a lot of their meat options. This is the tri-tip, strip loin, and the ham, as well as the roasted chicken and rope sausage. For sides, we got mashed potatoes and mac and cheese, and I got some of their bone marrow as well. It is all looking really good. Let's give it a try. Go ahead and do the strip loin first. I gotta say, this is actually pretty rare for a buffet. Let's see how it is. That's not bad. A very juicy and tender piece of strip loin here. I'm genuinely surprised how well that's kept up on the buffet line. A decent beefy flavor here, although I will say I think the crust is a little under-seasoned. But in general, not a bad strip loin at all. We'll do the Italian rope sausage next. Looks pretty good. Let's give it a shot. That's pretty tasty. A very meaty sausage here. Good textures on the inside, although personally I would appreciate a little bit more of a snap on the exterior. The Italian seasoning and spices here are very good. You've definitely got good amounts of oregano and fennel in here, providing that aromatic hit, and appropriate levels of salt and pepper, really helping you appreciate the flavors of this sausage. Actually quite good, I like that one. Next up, we'll do the tri-tip. If this has anywhere near good of a cook as the strip loin, it should be pretty solid. Let's see how it is. Yeah, that was pretty good. Relatively tender and juicy here. I definitely hit the carvery at the right time. A good beefy chew to that tri-tip. It has a very enjoyable texture. Now, while the strip loin I thought was a little under-seasoned, the seasoning on the tri-tip is actually very spot on. It really helps you appreciate the flavors of the beef here. And in general, not bad at all. I like the tri-tip today. Next up, we'll do the baked ham. Now, I gotta say, this was a little bit tougher as I was cutting into it, but hopefully it's good. I wasn't a huge fan of that one. Unfortunately, the pork is really tough here. It's been dried out. Not a lot of moisture in that meat. I think I may have an idea as to why The aftertaste is incredibly salty. I imagine reverse osmosis just pulled a lot of the moisture out of this pork perhaps, but I was definitely not a fan of that one. I'd skip on the pork today. Next up we're doing the chicken, and I believe this is covered in something like a white barbecue sauce. Hopefully it's good. Oh yeah, that's quite tasty. The chicken meat here is still very juicy. My hat's off to the carvery. They're doing a really good job with these proteins. A very rich skin and deliciously seasoned. You've got a lot of herbs and spices here, and you definitely get a nice floral hit from the rosemary, which I would say is the most predominant of the spices. The white barbecue sauce is creamy, and I would say it's actually a little more savory and tangy than it is sweet, and it complements the flavor of this chicken very well. I actually like this one quite a bit. It's a good chicken dish. And next up, I'm going to try the bone marrow. I want to say the Wicked Spoon was probably the first Las Vegas buffet to serve bone marrow. And I remember the very first time I tried this over a decade ago. I thought it was amazing. But we'll go ahead and see how it is today. Yeah, you know what? Not bad. A little more gelatinous than buttery. I think I would have appreciated it to be just a tad softer. There's something very much like a dehydrated beef or something on the top here, providing a savory hit, and while I wouldn't say it's awful, I would say it's just okay. And next up we're going to go and try the shells and cheese. Got a nice forkful here, let's see how it is. Yeah, you know what, that's pretty good. Now, unfortunately, the texture of the noodles aren't all that great. Not too firm, it's actually borderline mushy. I imagine it's actually been out on the buffet line for a little bit, so texture's not getting too many points there. I actually really do like the cheese sauce on top. Not only is it rich and creamy, but it actually does have a nice salty flavor to it. There's a definitive spice to this, and I'm starting to recall that this is called angry mac and cheese for that reason. Now, and it is a very approachable heat. I wouldn't say it's destructive for your palate in any way. Just a little bit of cayenne spice there toward the middle of the bite, and you definitely get a little bit of an afterburn as well. Not bad though, I'm actually a fan of that mac and cheese. Alright my friends, now the last bite I'm trying from the second plate are the mashed potatoes and gravy. These were actually sitting right next to the carvery, so I thought it was very easy to get. Let's see how it is. Yeah, you know what, that's fine. A bit more of a rustic mashed potato here. It's a little bit chunkier with some bigger pieces of potato in there. Now, I'm personally more of a fan of creamier mashed potatoes, but I'm definitely down with the rustic style from time to time. I do think the mashed potatoes themselves could use some additional seasoning, maybe some additional butter, because outside of the raw starch potato flavor, it is a little bit bland. I would say the gravy here is nice. It's a little bit thinner, but it does have a nice savory flavor, but I certainly wouldn't say the depth of flavor on that gravy is all that spectacular. Adequate is the word that comes to mind. But no serious detractors from those mashed potatoes, those are just fine. Alright everyone, now that's my second plate. I'm going to go and continue putting down all this protein, and then we'll go for plate number 3. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. And welcome back everyone. I've got my third plate here, and I'm actually starting to get pretty full, so it's not all that big. Let me give you a view. I got some fried chicken as well as a slice of their meat lovers pizza, a vegetable samosa, and some guacamole and chips. Looking forward to trying this. Let's go in. And first up, we'll try the meat lovers pizza. Now, buffet pizza is a very easy 50-50. Never really know how it's gonna be. Hopefully it's good here today. Yeah, you know what, that's not bad. Unfortunately, I will say the crust is a little bit doughy. I either prefer it to be a little chewier or a little airier. It's right in between in that little unsatisfactory zone for me. That said, the flavors here are actually very good. The tomato sauce that they've used for this particular pizza is very zesty. It has a good savory note, not a ton of sweetness, but in general very robust flavors with that sauce. The particular bite that I had a nice chunk of salami on it, providing a lot of salinity to the bite, as well as some richness. I will say there's not a lot of cheese on this particular pizza, but I'm not exactly missing it just because of how flavorful that sauce is. I'm genuinely impressed. I actually like this one quite a bit. And next up, the Wicked Fried Chicken. Actually, it feels relatively crispy in my hands here, and it's got a great color to it. Let's see how it is. You know what, not bad. There's a decent crisp to this fried chicken, although I wouldn't say it's exactly the crunchiest I've ever had. That said, the chicken meat inside is actually still pretty juicy. I was surprised about that. There's a very robust seasoning blend to this particular chicken, with a lot of emphasis on cumin. It creates for a very earthy flavored chicken here, and while I don't know if I would say this is my favorite recipe of fried chicken, it's not bad at all, it's pretty good. Alright everyone, next up I'm trying the vegetable samosa. I'm actually a very big fan of Indian food, and this samosa is actually looking pretty good, and it looks like it has some kind of a sweet chutney on top. Let's see how it is. Oh yeah, that's very good. A wonderfully crispy exterior with this samosa skin. Excellent fry job. This vegetable filling is so flavorful. Plenty of cumin, curry, and garam masala in here. It has such a pungent and aromatic flavor. This apple chutney on the top is providing such a wonderful sweetness to help counterbalance a bit of that spice. Because while it's not bringing a ton of heat, there is a bit of a kick to it. There's also just a little bit of freshness coming from what I want to say is some mint. And these are just really great flavors. I like this one a lot. Alright everyone, now the last bite I'm trying for my entrees today before I get to some dessert is gonna be the guacamole and chips. They give you a nice bag of tricolor tortilla chips here, along with a little dollop of guacamole. Get a little dip, and let's see how it is. You know, that's pretty good. Now unfortunately, I wouldn't say the chips are ultra fresh. They're not exactly stale, but they don't have that wonderful, satisfying crisp that you're looking for. The guacamole here is pretty good. A nice creamy richness coming from the avocados, a good approachable spice level, and the pico de gallo also providing some freshness. I think it could use a little bit of additional salt and lime to really amp up the flavors to the next level, but in general, it's not a bad guacamole at all. I think with some slightly fresher chips, this would be really enjoyable. Alright my friends, I'm starting to get pretty full here, so I'm going to wrap all this up and then we'll go in on some sweets. Don't go anywhere, dessert's coming up next. Welcome back everyone. Now I am so full, it's definitely time for some desserts. Let me show you what I got. I got their warm peach cobbler as well as 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream, and I'm definitely ready to put the cap on this meal. Let's give this a try. Alrighty, first up, it's the peach cobbler. This is definitely a classic buffet dessert. Hopefully it's good here at the Wicked Spoon. Oh yes, very tasty. A very delectable sweetness to this dish. There's definitely a lot of sugar here, but it's not so sweet that it makes you reel back in your seat. Definitely some woodsy notes coming from some cinnamon in here, and you definitely get the natural sweetness of the peaches as well. I love the crumble topping, providing an additional sweet hit as well as a little bit of additional texture. However, speaking of texture, unfortunately the peaches are a little bit harder than I would prefer them to be. I think they could have definitely used a couple more minutes when it comes to the cook. But the flavors in general are very good. I like that one. Alrighty, next up, the vanilla ice cream. After all of that eating, something cool and creamy sounds really good right now. Let's give this a taste. Oh yes, very good. Super creamy gelato here. I love the texture. It's so smooth. It's really velvety, like a cloud. It's so satisfying to eat. A good level of sweetness to this and a bright vanilla flavor. I have no complaints. I really like the vanilla ice cream. And of course we have to combine the two. Peach cobbler a la mode, a classic, right? Let's see how this is. So good. Truly a match made in heaven. When you add that additional cool creaminess of the ice cream to the nice spiced flavors of those peaches, all the flavors come together very well and they complement each other in a nice way. I like that quite a bit. Alright my friends, now that's going to do it for my lunch here at the Wicked Spoon Buffet. Now the price for my brunch today came out to $47 before tip, and that squarely puts it in the mid-range price point here on the Las Vegas Strip. I think with the fantastic ambiance that you're getting to dine in, as well as some really good food options, I genuinely like the Wicked Spoon a lot. Now that's going to do it all for this Saturday video where I check out a touristy location here on the Strip or downtown. Coming Tuesday, I'm going to be exploring another more local eatery here in the Valley. I hope you'll join me for it then. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week, and I hope you enjoyed Vegas with me, Shin. Bye.